Okay. So, hello. My name is Siren. And I am new to this. Well, I'm new as a creator. I'm definitely not new to Twitch or to streaming or to video games. And yeah, well, I am a college student, recently returning college student, actually. Let me turn this down just a titch. Originally graduated with just my associates 3 years back, and I've been working. I am a certified dental assistant, or a CDA. I'm also an expanded functions dental assistant, or an EFDA. But college is expensive, and I had to get out and work in with just my associates and my national board certification in dental assisting. But my eventual goal is to be a dentist myself. And in order to afford something like that, I've obviously got to work while I'm going to school. So I've been working and have saved up enough to return for my bachelor's. So now I am going back for my pre-dental degree, which is going to be my major of biology. And after that, I'll need to take the DAT. It's like the MCAT, but for dentists, and apply to dental schools, so on and so forth. But in the meantime, I'm playing video games all the time anyway in between classes, so I might as well stream it. And without further ado, I'm going to start tonight, and my first stream ever, with Subnautica. It is a personal favorite of mine, and I think it goes quite well with my kind of nautical theme that I'm going with. So let's get started. I absolutely love Subnautica. I've got nearly 300 hours of it, and I cannot wait for Subnautica 2. I'm going to let the intro cutscene play, and once I've got some quiet, I'll kind of talk a little bit more about myself, kind of let you guys get to know me. It's always going to take a while. It's the first time loading up, that's a new save, so. Beautiful art, though. Great art direction for this game.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
I'll just put this fire out. Okay. Oh, right. This is a custom little intro. This is the first time you have your little data pad out.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. Tab. Got it. Okay. Might need to change some of these controls. I am used to playing this on the Steam Deck, so I am more used to a controller, sort of like joystick layout. Not used to doing this on a mouse and keyboard, but we will see how it goes. Oh, she's beautiful. Just
The Aurora suffered orbital
absolutely
power failure.
gorgeous.
Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
As I already said, I could not be more excited for Subnautica 2. I am going to play the hell out of that game. Okay. Well, while I am getting through the basic steps here, I guess I will talk a little bit about myself, like I said. So you can call me Siren. Not my name, obviously, my real name, but what we're gonna do, just for safety purposes. Scary world out there, especially for a woman. No offense. So I'm just gonna refer to me as Siren. I am an American, if you couldn't tell by the accent. I mean, I guess maybe you could assume, like, Canadian or something, but if the college talk earlier about it being expensive wasn't enough of a clue, that's why. I do like that cute little animation with that. So, yep, college student, dental assistant. I know a lot about teeth. Probably more than your average person. Not enough to have a dental degree yet, because that is time and money, but the practical knowledge is all there, because the education system is silly, and
is an essential component
you need
of
to
all powered
pay a lot of
equipment.
money to
Your probability
do
of
things,
survival
even if you
has
already
just
know how to do them.
decreased to unlikely, but plausible.
I am the youngest of 3. I am a lesbian. I'm going to just say that right off the bat, because if this channel is going to be very LGBT, so forth, friendly, and actually will not tolerate any kind of homophobia, transphobia, anything like that. Just absolutely not. So if you have a problem with that, this channel is not for you. I know many useless facts about things. As that one cat thing in Adventure Time said, I have an approximate knowledge of many things. It's not always entirely accurate, but I try. Kind of a huge loser nerd. No, loser's not nice. I should talk nice about this. Everyone should talk nicer about themselves. I am a pretty stereotypical nerd, though. Any hobby that you can imagine me having, if you just like look under generic nerd hobbies, yeah, that's me. So Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, video games, obviously. I've just kind of always been that way. I was in band in school. I was a band kid. I was a theater kid. I was a speech kid. I mean, like, prime speech kid, actually. To the point where, like, my siblings and I, both of our parents, not just one of them, but both of them were speech coaches for our elementary and middle school. So it's like a inherited nerdiness, almost. Hopefully that has made me more eloquent. I certainly know a lot of words. Probably just makes me sound pretentious most of the time. Not trying to be. I just know a lot of words, and I like long and fun words, because language is quite complex, and I like to stretch the limits of it. What else? Other nerdy hobbies? Oh, I was in chess club. I don't know how many schools still even have chess clubs, but yeah, I was in that. Nowadays, less time for that. I do not, kind of like work and school, and when I'm not at work or school, then I am playing video games. Figured might as well create content for some people that maybe share some interests. I am a child of the internet. I am 25, so not. I mean, I've kind of always grown up around the internet. I mean, it was like definitely was still the era in which computer classes were like just becoming a thing, where it's like in school, like elementary school, like everyone's got to have like typing classes and figure out how to use, you know, Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and stuff like that. Most nobody. Well, no, that's not accurate. I was going to say nobody really uses Word, so they might use Google Drive or something else, but that's not true. Some people still use Microsoft.
Lubricant is essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
I really don't. But anyway, so I have very fond memories of the first time that I ever kind of interacted with the internet. YouTube is in its way. YouTube was in its infancy, definitely.
Using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Yep, come along.
LifePod secondary systems online, running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Neat. I like that little animation of the smoke. Oh, that's really cute. As I said, I'm not used to using the mouse and keyboard setup, so there'll be some control kind of hiccups here. I'll get used to it.
Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
You got it. That's another thing. I keep hitting escape when I mean to hit tab. Just get rid of notifications because that's gonna be. Let's see. I'm gonna need the scanner and everything first. That's pretty much the most important. What else? Trying to remember. Oh yeah. So first experiences with YouTube and everything.
Were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime.
Computer lady.
The knife remains the only exception.
Try not to talk text. Because it annoys me when people do that. When I first got into YouTube, I was maybe 11, and it was from friends at school being like, "Hey, have you heard of this crazy game called Minecraft?" And really funny to think that nowadays, still just as popular then, if not more so. More things change, more things stay the same, I guess. And that's really endearing to me. I still love Minecraft, even if it is very different now than it was back in my day, as it were. Pretty much the first YouTube videos I ever watched, like, myself, were... if anyone remembers, there was this trend briefly around the time that Minecraft was becoming a thing and like Minecraft YouTubers were becoming a thing, is also when the Hunger Games books were becoming really popular. Movies weren't out yet, but there was this trend that was like these Minecraft servers where you could play like Hunger Games with your friends. Like it would basically be, you would have, I think, 24 players or whatever, and you would get set up in a little arena, and then, you know, last person alive wins, etc. And there was this series of videos from like 24 different Minecraft YouTubers, because yeah, there were that many, and there still are, that were all playing in this collective server. And I think the first one I ever watched, and it was again because of my best friend at the time who was recommending it, was Captain Sparkles, who was famous for other things. He, I believe, according to my brother, I think he originally was Call of Duty or CSGO, one of those. I don't know. I apologize if I'm misconstruing his early days of YouTube, but I knew him as a Minecraft streamer. That same server, it had like, gosh, I want to say like Sky Does Minecraft and like Jerome and I think one or two of the Yogscast. I think that was when the Yogscast was literally just Simon and Lewis. Don't ask me much about what the Yogscast is up to nowadays. I was very into the early days of the Yogscast, obviously not really anymore. They've had some kind of scandals since then, quite a few, but hey, who hasn't? I think pretty much any famous YouTuber that I watched back when I was like, oh, literally a child, has since had some kind of scandal or the other, so I do not endorse everything that they do, say, have said, have done, etc., etc. I just used to watch them as a kid. It's not that big of a deal, not that deep. But it did kind of define a lot of the content that I'm into, you know, regardless of what I might think of them now, or if I would still watch them now, you know. Specifically, one of my favorites was in the Yogscast was Rythian, and if anyone is familiar with that, he was a little bit more niche of the members. Well, niche isn't probably the right word, because he did become a time, but it's just, I enjoyed the type of games he played. They were all kind of like big edgelord games, is the best way I can describe them. Alice Madness Returns, and like Sonnered, and so forth. And I was just like so obsessed with him as a kid. I don't know why. I think it's just I always have loved like edgier, dark games, even though I am not really that dark and edgy person.
Alien life forms may have unexpected
and I enjoyed the
applications.
Minecraft series he did with
Utilizing alien
Zoe.
resources is a proven survival strategy.
I wonder if she's still around, because I do. That was somebody who also had a important influence on me. As a closeted lesbian, it was very important to me at a young time in my life before I even really knew I was gay to have this, you know, gay content creator who was just like someone I really found funny and like sweet, and I just enjoyed her playstyle. So yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, I valued the content she did, and it made me get into a lot of video games and the stuff I'm into now. So even now, gosh, over 10 years later, she's still influencing some of the stuff I do. So hey, you're doing something right. I have incredibly fond memories of watching her play Gone Home. If anyone is from my era of watching YouTube gamers, you might remember Gone Home is a pretty famous walking simulator, as you might call it. It's kind of just walking around a house at night, and it's kind of spooky, and you're uncovering a story of your character's sister, like through her journal entries. And at the time, it was sort of a novelty. Walking simulators were kind of just popular at the time, I guess. It was like an indie thing, you know, indie creators that were just sort of designing environments and trying, you know, but didn't have a lot of mechanics down, would just sort of make these pretty environments that you could walk around in. And that was one of them. And it's actually quite a heartfelt story. I enjoy the story of Gone Home a lot. And spoiler alert for a game that's like, again, over a decade old, but basically it's like either the 1980s or the 1990s, and your character's younger sister is like a closeted lesbian, and it's a story of her, like, it's like a coming of age story, and also her meeting this girl and falling in love and them running away together. And yeah, so again, you can imagine as a closeted little lesbian child that this was a very influential game for me to watch. I valued it a lot, and it has stuck with me even now. So that was an experience that I always look back on fondly, was not only watching that game, but specifically watching Zoe play that game, because of how I think it affected her as well. representation matters of all kinds. It's always important to see ourselves and in other creators, which is why I don't really have problems telling anyone that I'm lesbian just right out the gate, because it's not really a big deal, especially in the year of our Lord 2026. It's not my entire personality, but it is a facet of my personality, and it does color a lot of my life and experiences. I have had people treat me very poorly because of it. I have had, made friends because of it, people within the community. So it just is what it is. And, because I have that experience of, feeling so connected and accepted, even if I didn't necessarily have that in my home life as a young lesbian, that I had it from a content creator like Zoe. So, kind of want to, I guess that's kind of, as cheesy as it's going to sound, that's kind of one of my goals, is to be that for someone else, is any young women out there who, maybe like watching video games, that you can maybe, hey, maybe I can be that for you. Just, everybody needs that first person that they can hear from, like, hey, it's fine. Like, you're fine, it's fine, it might not feel fine right now, but it's going to one day, you will find a place in the world, you will find acceptance,
continuing to
love you,
monitor.
love people in return. You'll find a job and a life and a house and, love and all kinds, not just from, romantic, but friends and, family. If your own family is not, maybe always supportive now, that you will find your own family, be in your life. I did not mean this to get so deep and like sad in a second. It's not meant to be sad. It's meant to be like uplifting, because I do love my family. They mean a lot to me, but people have changed a lot in the last 20 years, just in America alone. God, I can't imagine why. But not everybody has always been the most accepting of my sexuality, and they've certainly gotten there, but not all of them, and some people never will. That's okay. I've made my peace with that. If you are a young gay person, a young ace person, a trans person, etc., one of the most helpful things you can do for yourself, as I chase this stalker desperately with my scanner, just don't read into that statement too much, is that not everyone is going to be okay with who you are, and you just have to make your peace with that. And by make your peace with that, I don't mean like, oh, some people are going to hate me and therefore it's like fine. No, some people are going to hate you and it's just not your problem. There's going to also be plenty of people who love you. And that's really all that matters. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to get away from this cheesiness and get actually to facts. The youngest of three, as I said, got a older brother. He is the oldest of us, and we've got a middle sister. Both of my siblings have played a big role in my taste in video games as well. Minecraft originally, my brother had it, actually. So even if my first experiences to watching it and hearing about it kind of being played professionally were from friends at school, I already knew what the game was from. It was like our dad's work laptop that my brother downloaded the earliest versions of Minecraft on. It was like when you didn't have a hunger bar in Minecraft and there weren't tools. It was literally like hitting stuff with your fist. Like that. Extreme OCD. And another one of my fondest memories is I would sneak into my brother's room whenever he wasn't home, if he was like, at a friend's house or something, and would play Portal on his Xbox 360. it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, this is his room, his Xbox, so nobody else gets to play stuff on it. But I would watch him play video games enough to figure out how to get to certain games, which I felt very clever and sneaky about as an 11-year-old, but probably was like, oh yeah, just go into the game menu and start playing it. But yeah, I would like covertly play Portal on his Xbox, and also Mirror's Edge, which I was terrible at. I love Mirror's Edge, the art direction and the game itself, but I am so bad at it. I've had to accept over the years that speedrunning is just not for me. I am a meanderer. I'm gonna meander in games. I'm gonna do what I'm doing now, where I'm just running after fish for several years and trying to scan them rather than setting about doing the goals in this game, trying to save myself from this ocean planet or whatever. Because you know what? Love this ocean planet. Stay for a while. And they put a lot of work into the UI and the descriptions of all the game. It's really fun to do. I do love good world building. One of my favorite game series of all time is the Mass Effect trilogy. Also Dragon Age. I will be playing some Dragon Age Origins this week. Do a start from scratch sort of thing where I'm open to play through all of Dragon's Age Origins, go into 2, and then Inquisition and so on. Because that's kind of my favorite part about those game series, is that it is like this linear progression where you can, play the entire game and carry your story forward into the next games. I really love that. Mass Effect 2 is one of my top 5 games of all time. Specifically, I absolutely love Mass Effect 2, so I'll probably do the Mass Effect series at some point as well. I have replayed it many, many, many times. So that's kind of my brother's influence on things. As for our sister, she was always really into the Legend of Zelda games. She's not that much older than me, so when I say the Legend of Zelda games, I mean Ocarina of Time and so forth. Those came out before we were born, just by a little bit. So she would not play something like Ocarina of Time until a little bit later. And that was like the port that she got of it on the Nintendo 3DS or whatever. And these controls are just, I'm so unused to them. Sorry. And again, one of my very early memories is we had the Wii when it came out. Big freaking deal when the original Wii console came out. Shout outs to everyone who shit. And she would play Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess all the time, and I thought that was the most beautiful game that had ever been made. When it got its remaster a few years back, I was overjoyed. Just so much nostalgia for watching this thing, specifically. Which goes along with my liking kind of darker themed games, I guess. I mean, Legend of Zelda isn't a very dark series, well, so I can diss me on that. But art direction-wise, it's always been pretty bright. Colors. But what they did with that...
Receiving re-recorded distress call, laying back.
This is LifePod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Yeah, we'll go get that. Don't think. So, that influenced a lot when Breath of the Wild came out. That was a big deal. Really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. And what's great about loving big series like that are ongoing, I know some people get tired But, you know, obviously my sister and I were adults now, just like our brother and us are, and even now it still connects us. I mean, we were all super excited when Breath of the Wild was coming out to play it ourselves, and it's always just something very pure about that, I think, is when a game series comes out that's been going out and gone forever, and, you know, even still people are like connecting with it. I don't know, I just really enjoy something about that. We were all three of us, much like everyone else in the world, were really into Animal Crossing. When it came out in 2020, that year was hell, and it was the only thing that was making life fun. I was still in college at that point, my first time at college, when I was getting my associates, so that was absolutely terrible. It was before we had figured out how to get online classes, like, good. So a lot of professors just got forced into doing online-only stuff when they had not been prepared to do online-only stuff, and it was just kind of disastrous. I remember going with my girlfriend at the time to pack up her dorm because everyone had to vacate the dorms, and it literally looked like something out of the apocalypse. I mean, everybody was like running around. It was dark, it was late, and there's just all these cars with their trunks and doors open, just everyone loading up their lives as they were like having to flee, basically. It looked like something out of The Last of Us. Another game series that shaped my young childhood because I would watch people play it on YouTube all the time. That was another fun trend of like every YouTuber playing that. I have fun watching everyone play The Last of Us. That's just something I do. Is I know some people probably only watch a specific streamer maybe play like a game, like, oh, you want to watch like a playthrough of the game, like a single playthrough, and then you're just kind of like, okay, I've got the gist. I always watch multiple people if it's a game that I'm really interested in, because I'm like, well, I want to see this person's specific reactions to this stuff. And I know a lot of people will probably share that opinion and are like, yeah, that's fun of it. As I said, my kind of original introduction to YouTubers was with Minecraft stuff like Yogscast and so forth, and would then branch out from there to, you know, I was really into NerdCubed at the time. I still am. I enjoy his content. And he led me to bloggers like Emma Blackery, if anybody's familiar, and Dan and Phil, and everyone who knows those names knows that if you were an 11-year-old girl, like I was, really into their videos, what a joy the last few years have been hearing about how things are going for them now. I am so incredibly happy that they can be publicly together. And that is just, again, one of the things in my childhood was having that connection. Even if they were closeted for many years, just, you know, I always loved videos. Just felt a lot of kinship with these kind of awkward dudes. But yeah, what else? Talking about family and like our dad, biggest nerd of all of us. Like I said, he was a speech coach for us. He was also band kid, speech kid, theater kid, huge nerd. He was the drum major for his band. I don't know if that's a thing in other countries, but it's like ultimate band nerd is what the drum major is. I didn't mean to make that, but now I have it, so, you know. What was it? Yeah. Stop trying to scan yourself. Just gathering resources, not even for anything specific. It's just because I'm talking. But another like even younger childhood, like before YouTube, before anything, like 5 years old, is my dad had one of those like arcade stick things that you could hook up to the TV that had like a couple games preloaded on it.
Caution.
It had
Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
thanks for the update. It had Galaga and Dig Dug and Pac-Man and stuff like that. And I have so many memories of being a kid and going into my parents' room, and he would be like, having just got back from work, would be playing Galaga. And that is like a soundtrack and game thing that is like very nostalgic to me, even though obviously, again, I wasn't born when that game like was first out in arcades or whatever. Arcades were kind of a thing of the past when by the time I was old enough to, I mean, arcades still exist. I just mean like there were not as many after once I got to be like old enough to go and be into video games. Our mom is kind of the sole exception to video games. She's always just kind of like, yeah, you know, not really for her.
Detecting
It's
sulfur
fine.
deposits in the local cave
She
systems.
is,
Sulfur
however,
an
my
essential
biggest
component
influence
of the
in
repair tool.
reading, literature, everything like that, because she is a teacher, English teacher usually. Well, she's taught all sorts of things. She's taught English in high school, and she's worked in libraries. She has worked in elementary, middle schools, high schools, college a little bit, all sorts. So big, expansive knowledge of just literature in general from this woman. Again, that contributes to my big, pretentious use of all sorts of words. But also just reading constantly is, as much as I do play video games and probably rot my brain or whatever the elderly are worried about, is I do also read all the time. And I get that from her. It's very helpful to me. My family is a big part of my life, and that matters to me a lot. But so are my friends, you know? And it's important to have connections of all kinds, you know? I think a lot of young people my age, etc., have this desire to have specifically a romantic connection. And anyone who is aromantic, doesn't experience romantic interaction, or is just not interested in something like that for one reason or the other, knows that, all of your relationships are valuable and should all be given time and attention and care, etc. Your platonic relationships, familiar relationships,
new PDA
etc.,
data.
not just romantic or sexual relationships, should all get
New
sort of attention and care.
acquired.
And, that way, if one or several of those relationships is kind of lacking, that you have others to sort of lean on in a way. Humans are not meant to be solely self-dependent or whatever. I am a pretty independent person. I enjoy being alone, but I also am aware that I shouldn't be all the time. Which is kind of another reason I want to do this, specifically streaming, is I am kind of just talking to nobody, but maybe eventually we'll be talking to somebodies. So, you don't know. I think I'm going to kind of wrap up here for this stream, at least anyway. I'm gonna work on getting connected with all sorts of other things. Patreon, Ko-fi, Coffee, I don't know how to pronounce it, Tumblr, etc., just to sort of get connected with everyone and hopefully grow a community. So I will leave this kind of here. But thank you for watching if you have, and Yeah. We'll see how this goes. Bye.